What's going on, guys? Scar coming at you with another Magic the Gathering video. In today's video, we're going to be diving into a Gruul Aggro deck that I kind of put together. It's kind of like a little bit of an upgrade of the typical Gruul Aggro deck you've seen probably previously, just adding a couple of the new cards into it. But again, I do just real quick do apologize yet again, another video without the cam on. It's just that I kind of was a little bit busier earlier today, just kind of got into doing this a little bit late before going to bed, so I do apologize. I just want to set up everything and get it ready to film. So we are going to dive into this deck today that I kind of put together. Pretty much it's just your typical Gruul Aggro list. This deck kind of rounds out to be more of a mid-range deck than more of an aggressive, like trying to kill your opponent by turn 4. But overall, the deck is pretty straightforward on what it does. You know, it plays pretty much everything on curve. It has a couple things for spot removal, but the goal here is we're just trying to play our things on curve and get them out and trying to overrun our opponent, kind of like you would do typically in like a mono green deck or something like that. But to start it off, the deck is starting with the Pelt Collector. He is the solid 1-drop. You know, him just getting +1/+1 counters every time I play something bigger than him. And then if something bigger than him also dies, he also goes up in counters. Radha the Rich has a 2 of, just because it's a very solid 2-drop. It's aggressive, with us being like having the ability to kind of be a little bit more aggressive. We can kind of take cards from our opponent's deck. If we're in like a deck that either spots as green or red, the cards that they may have could also be good for us. So we got that. We got some Scorching Dragonfires for some spot removal. It's a pretty solid 2-cost spot removal, just because it deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. And it pretty much exiles it instead of sending to the library or the graveyard. So it's definitely good for things that, whenever they go to the graveyard, those triggers. So that's good in that sense. Scavenging Ooze to attack the graveyard on top of it to gain some life, get some +1/+1 counters. This is a Goblin because it's just another solid 2-drop. We can play it for the 2/2 Haster on turn 2 with a Pelt Collector, just to kind of pump Pelt Collector, or we can even play it on turn like 3 or something a little bit later to bump up the Pelt Collector and make it a 3/3 if we need something a little bit bigger on the board. Bone Crusher Giant because it's another solid 2-cost spell, as well as it's a pretty big 4/3 on turn 3, so it's a pretty solid cost spell that has 2 effects, so why not play it. Some 2 Gruul Spellbreakers just because it's good. I kind of did cut down some of this because there's some new cards that we did add into the deck, and I kind of wanted to give them their fair shot instead of just cutting things completely. So Gruul Spellbreaker we went down to a 2 of that you would normally see maybe a set of in a deck like this. Now we're playing Radha, the Heart of the Keld, which is a new card from M21. If you haven't seen it already, pretty much what it does is, as long as it's your turn, it has she has first strike. You may look at the top part of your library at any time. You may pay lands from the top of your library, so it's kind of cool to get lands off the top of your library and then put them onto the battlefield. So if you're looking for that land, it's kind of like you almost have like you can kind of see the top of your library and get the land off if it's a land. And on top of it, she has an effect that if you tap 6, she gets +X until end of turn, where X is the number of lands you control. So pretty much in the late game on turn 6 or so, she will be a pretty decently big creature to try to finish it off. Combine that with like an Embercleave or something like that, she could definitely hit for a truck. But then following that, we play 2 Questing Beasts because we cut down some of this to play the next card that we're going to go over. But Questing Beasts is another solid deck you could play more copies of if you don't have some of these cards. Just because Questing Beast is one of those things that when you do hit it, it's especially against more aggressive aggro small creature decks, Questing Beast just kind of like stomps right over. Then you got Elder Gargaroth, which is another new card from M21. It's a mythic. It has Vigilance, Reach, and Trample. And then whenever it attacks our blocks, we get to choose one, which is we get to create a 3/3 Beast token. We gain 3 life, or we can draw a card, which is pretty good. I think against very aggressive decks, when this comes out, it's almost like GG's, just because every time we block and or attack with it, because it has Vigilance, it doesn't have to tap, and we get this effect. And once we start just gaining this 3 life every time it does something, it's definitely good. And the fact that it's not legendaries, we have multiples of these out, and if we get multiple of these out on like the mono red deck or something, it's just a matter of time for that mono red deck that scoops up. But overall, it's a pretty solid card. I wouldn't say it's amazing, but I've seen it around, and I figured I'd kind of mess around with it because I haven't really played too much with it. Then we got Embercleave because it's Gruul. Why not splash Embercleave? Because we got to finish our opponent at some point, and Embercleave is just one of those solid cards. And we have a decent curve, so might as well have Embercleave in to kind of hopefully clean up the game at the end. Stoneclothed Serpent, just because it's another good card. It has Reach, Trample, Protection from Multicolor. We can play it for a big Stone Coil. We can play it in the early game for a small Stone Coil. It is what it is. We kind of mess around with it. Into the mana, it's a pretty straightforward mana base that you would have for a Gruul deck: 7 mountains, 8 forests, 4 stomping grounds, 3 temples to kind of figure out, you know, just some additional red-green mana, and then Fable Passages to kind of clean up that mana as well. Overall, the curve is pretty straightforward. It's a 2.7 average curve, so we kind of average around like 3 would be, I would say, the best thing. So if we at least get turn 3 and have 3 lands, we're usually in a good place, but you know, you kind of want to make sure we get to at least turn 5 so we can pretty much play everything in our deck. 30 creatures in total, so we are a very creature heavy deck. 2 instances, and then 5 artifacts, but 3 of them are Embercleaves and 2 of them are the Stone Coils, and 25 lands in total. So overall, the deck rounds out to be pretty solid. Let's dive into some games, kind of see how we do, and hopefully come back and talk about it in based on the results. I mean, our hand's pretty decent. We're on the draw, but I think this is a keepable hand just because we play Pel Collector turn 1. Maybe draw into something a little bit later. We got a Stone Coil, so that's good. It looks like our opponent is playing something red-green, so there is that. Alright, so some sort of Gruul ramp deck, maybe? I think we're going to play Stone Coil on turn 2 at 2. Just to pump up the Pel Collector. I mean, they could have a burn card. Kind of see what they do here. They're really thinking about what land they want to put into their hand tapped. So this is where I think our decks will differ. It looks like they're going for more of a ramp effect, whereas we're going for more of just your typical, let's do damage to the opponent's face kind of thing. Alright, they clicked their Razor twice. Going to the Think Tank on this. I mean, for all our opponent knows right now that we're only a mono green deck, so maybe they're trying to think of, like, do they want to put additional red on the battlefield, or do they want to put additional green? Or maybe they have a Fable Passage and they just realize that the Fable Passage comes in tapped. But to already go into the timeout mode for this is pretty crazy. Are they on timeout on the effect? They timed out on the effect. Rip. Rip, rip, rip. Play this. We won't take any damage yet. No attacks, because it's just, you can block. The question is our opponent actually here? Is the real test. Oh, they're here, they're here. Part of me wants to possibly, Alright, they play a 4/3 Stone Coil. Nice. Part of me wants to just play the Bone Crusher, just to pump up the Pel Collector, which is a possibility, and then it becomes a big body. And if they try to target this and remove it, I guess that's good. So I think that's what we're gonna do. As much as I would love to play that side, I think we're just gonna play the big side of this and kind of hold up blocks. Also, this protects us from a possible Quest and Beast. Alright, that's fine. That's fair. I mean, I could technically take out the Gem Razor. I don't know what that leaves them with, and I think we just may. Yeah, we'll take one. Because, I mean, you want to get rid of something that's big. There's going to be a turn that we're not going to have a thing, but we will have the Elder in another turn, so it's fine. That's a pretty good play, I think. So we'll kind of see what our opponent does here. That's fine. So it looks like they're playing Gruul Mutate then? Which is interesting, I think. We will do this. We will do this. Question is, what is our opponent going to do? Also, I'm still surprised. That's fine. It's really fine. I mean, hopefully they have another one, because I guess we'll just play another one. They could. If they do, then it's GG's. That's fine. We'll ooze here. No attacks and turn. We can gain life, so that's always good. We only gain 2 life this turn, so it's fine. Okay. We'll take your other gem razor, gain some life. We will take your stone coil, gain some life. Question is, if we attack in, they block, right? I think it's a worthy trade just because I don't think they have a follow-up. Also, I don't think I'm dead. And I get a quest and piece off the field, so there's that. That's fine. And they got 2 things.
You got it.
Was it worth it? That's the real question to them. Was it really worth? I could have played that differently, but is what it is, and then we'll just do that. Then our deck. It's fine. Play land off the top. Maybe they have a follow-up. Gem Razor. I think just play the Gem Razor for the Gem Razor. They are. So this has been an interesting mirror matchup in a way. Our decks are slightly different in certain aspects. That's not great. That's definitely not what you want to see. I guess we'll keep. +X+X, okay. No attacks. Because they're just going to swing in for damage here. We'll make them... They could have an Embercleave, which would be 8. Well, that'd be game if I think we do it this way. Might as well split the damage if they have an Embercleave. Which I don't think they would, actually, now I'm thinking about it. Was that good enough now thinking about it? I mean, might as well 2 to the face. And Bone Crusher. I mean, next turn we could possibly force them. We're in a definitely a tough predicament just because we really need something big. Like a Stone Cold off the top would be amazing here. I have to block that way just because if I don't, they're just gonna pump up and kill me. So there's that. All right, so they're going wide at this point. That's probably not good enough, unfortunately now. I mean, might as well swing in just to swing in. they don't need a block, to be quite honest. Because that allows them to go wide, because this is still enough. Because if I don't block here, then they pump. If I block here, then they pump this way. Like, I'm at 5 either way. So I gotta block here, even though I'm dead regardless. So I'll just play it out. But yeah, it's one of those things where, you know, they just kept on drawing stuff and I kind of drew flat. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But I think it was a good game overall. That Radha is actually, like, surprisingly, like, really good just in the basis of, you can just play lands off the top of your library, which helps you in that situation to get out of drawn lands, which is kind of what we had happen to us. Still shuffling. But when you come into a game and it's still on the, okay, there we go. Opponent goes first. Hand good. It's all right. Part of me wants to play that tap lane to play tap, but part of me wants to play the Pel Collector on curve. So it's like, I mean, maybe it's turn 1 Pel Collector, turn 2 play this plus Pel Collector, depending on how we draw. Because I don't have any physical red on the battlefield, so that's the thing. I need to get red mana. So if we don't draw red mana, I think this is a turn 2 play. All right, they're playing. Okay, so we'll do this and do this. Definitely want to make sure we're in a good spot for Radha and then Spellbreaker. So I mean, we have a very good curve here, I think, and I think our opponent's we're in a good spot against our opponent who's playing a deck that's, I guess, slightly drawn slower. Do I need that now? No, I kind of want to land as much as that's good. Though I feel like Radha could find that land. You can crack it whenever. Yeah. I feel like that's why we're being held up, is because they were like, I can crack this now, end of turn. I usually just crack my Fable Passages like immediately when I have them, just because. Alright, we're playing Bant. Playing Bant something. Is it Bant ramp? I don't know. Those Scavenger News would be good this turn if they play like an Uro. Just on the basis of we'd be able to attack their Uro.
I know my responsibility.
That's fine. I guess it doesn't really matter in that sense. Yeah, so I think we go. Let's do haste, because I want to be aggressive here. And I think that's the way. Get the Teferi off. I mean, Radha could have been another one, but Radha can come up next turn. If we draw a land, Quest and Beast is definitely good here. Looking at my Spellbreaker, I'm not sure. It's a card I feel like everyone's seen at this point, but at the same time, it's possibly maybe they're looking to see if they want to bounce that or Pel Collector. All right. If we draw a land, Quest and Beast is very, very good. Yes. Quest and Beast is definitely good in this situation now because we can attack face, and Teferi just dies as a casualty in this process. So Teferi will just die as being a party of.
Really should have seen that coming.
They had to. They had to do it. If they didn't do it, it was GG's pretty much right there. Yes, we'll keep that. How do I want to do this? Oh, I have enough to do this. To do this. Into Scavenger News. So let's make sure they have it. If they have another board wipe, then that's fine. But also, this is out of Elspeth Conqueror's death territory. So there's that as well. So if they don't have a board wipe, this is fine.
I will protect the virtue of this world. The land shall conquer you.
You could attack. I'm going to take the 3. Or not. Alright, so the question is, do we go into attack first? Do I play Elder Greathorn, pump everything? Elder Greathorn then takes all my mana. Do I Scorch and... Yeah, I think we do this. Low in the mana. Borrower? Alright, that's fine. Draw 1 green. I don't know what that's going to do you, but okay. Didn't draw land. We go into attack step. That's 6 on board, right? Embercleave goes down 3, and then we swing in for Embercleave, yeah. Yeah. Nice. I feel like there's multiple ways we could have done that. We could have also... I would have played the Kadra. That would have been the other 3 mana, right? So both Pel Collectors go to 3/3s plus 2, which would only be 8. So yeah, I think Embercleave was the better play. Deus Machina is our opponent. We go first. Our hand is decent, but we need to draw lands like ASAP. But I guess I'll keep. I mean, it's a little greedy of me just because we have decent cards. We're all green. We don't really need red mana at the moment, but it'd be nice to have untapped lands. So, and I think the consistency so far in each game drawing Pel Collector turn 1 is very strong. Possibly can be against Bant Ramp. So we gotta look out for that. Scavenging Ooze is good in this sense, just because Scavenging Ooze will protect us. I think we're gonna scry here. I don't need another one of those. We'll play Pel Collector and just swing in. But I do feel I have a weird feeling we're playing like either Simic Flash or a ramp deck. Alright, so we're playing a deck that runs stuff that is draw effects. Got it. And if something dies, we have Scavenging Ooze to eat it. That's fine. Still digging. For land. White mana. Alright, so we are playing some sort of Bant. It could be still Bant Ramp. Yeah, so I think we just do this and do this. We do that. Alright, so they're at 5. They need a board wipe here, would be their strong play. An Elspeth Conqueror's Death would be strong. That coming into play tap doesn't help them because, yeah. Pharaoh's fine. It's exactly why we play certain cards. But I think us playing this next turn and then Elder Gargurth is good for us in that sense. I think we just do this just because I guess we play. They have a counter. Four is already going through. They can double block a Pel Collector. So they're taking 6. That's fine. I should have attacked with the Scavenging Ooze. I'm an idiot. The Scavenging Ooze would have been lethal. Rip me. If I would have stacked with the Scavenging Ooze, that would have been the 2 over. I missed lethal. Don't do this to me, game. That's not a good card. I should have saved the Fable Passage. I should have played the Radha, then Fable Passage once I saw it on my top. Alright, maybe it's a good card. Because they really have to draw answers, don't they? I could have kept the Scavenging Ooze, but I'm going to dig a little bit deeper because... it's fine. Really? They have 6 cards, okay. I mean, Embercleave is still cheap. I mean, right now, what we're drawing is exactly what we need to get through this. So there's that. How much does it cost? 6? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's fine. Do I swing in? I think I swing in because this is lethal if they don't block, right? You should block more. Alright, we saved ourselves that game. We made a bad mistake on lethal. We're on the play. I mean, oh man. That is definitely not better. But I guess I'll keep. Yeah, no. I need more bodies. I need something bigger than Pell Collectors. First hand was definitely risky. We get aggressive. What are we playing against? Karuga. What are we playing? Yeah, we'll keep. Mono blue. I feel like this is a deck I saw earlier. I saw a deck that plays something like this. They could have a Browse and Borrower. They're gonna bounce one of these, probably. I mean, you can let all the triggers happen. You're still getting hit, I guess, for damage. But they're gonna play a lot of artifacts here. Is my best guess. It's like a... What is it? It's like a artifact deck thing I saw. Or not. Alright. I think Scorching Dragonfire is the... Yeah. I think we Scorching Dragonfire and make us pay and just pay the additional 1. And we'll swing it for 4. Get that off the battlefield. And we'll swing it for 4. Just to keep aggressive. I think Radha is possibly the play here if we don't draw a land. Because we just want to get our curve out. Plus pumps. And this puts them on a clock now because they gotta play something here or they're SOL, because this is 9 damage on the board just as is. They know we have a robber in our hand, which would still be lethal. Gadwick's not going to be good enough, unfortunately, for them. And good games. This is a deck I saw earlier. Forget who had it, but it's the goal of this deck is you play a bunch of those things, and yeah, you draw with a lot. All right, so in closing, I mean, overall, I think the way this deck performed was pretty well. I did have that mirror matchup against the same exact deck. I think they just overall drew better. And we played slightly different versions. I think they played, you know, they played gem razors and stuff, which we don't include, which is something maybe that's I should consider. I just felt like the list I had was kind of like tight as is, and I didn't really want to cut anything, and I'd have to cut either, you know, the elders or something like that to get something like gem razor in. I think elder's decent. We didn't really get to see the full effects because the games we did play him, we did get board wiped. But he is a threat that your opponent has to like look out for, just in the basis of that he has abilities to gain life, draw a card, and or make creature tokens on the battlefield. But overall, I think this deck is still pretty solid. I don't think it, you know, I don't know where it falls in like in the tiers of decks, but I feel like it is a pretty decent deck that will get some wins. I think you can definitely get, if you're trying to play ranked, I think this definitely be a deck that is a decent possibility to play through rank if you want to be a little bit more on the aggressive side, but not play the mono red matchup and just kind of splash in some green. But let me know in the comments below what you guys think overall as the deck. If you played some sort of Gruul before or played against it, what do you think? I do think some of the cards that did come from M21, like I said, are pretty decent. But let me know down in the comments below, like I said, what you think. Guys, if you like the video, hit that like button. Definitely helps out the channel a lot. As well as if you want to know if I post more videos, hit the subscribe button. I will catch you in the next video.